Welcome to the real-time web series. You're listening into Berst, GBAK, TMD all the way from New Zealand. For episode 9, we have a very unique and local writer from Tauranga and currently residing in Hamilton with us today. He's a long-time writer. His name is Sakt, and he is from FGA crew. Welcome.
Welcome. How are you, mate?
All good, brother. So for all our viewers tuning in for the first time, the real-time web series is an in-depth process video meets podcast. Each video basically documents the creative process of all graffiti writers from start to finish and is then combined with questions asked from our online audience. So let's get straight into it. The first series of questions is really more about your background and history. I'd really like to know, how did you come to select the name Sakt?
Well, it was kind of random. To be honest, I never really planned to write Sakt. But yeah, at that time, I was doing a lot of black book sketches and I used to draw a lot of cars. And in the background, I would have the bombing Sakt, and I would also have it on the number plate. At that time though, I was writing Vendetta. And I used to tag with my mate Siren. But yeah, so one day I just thought, hey man, I really like this sketch I drew. I thought I would paint it on a wall.
Awesome, and you mentioned that you also wrote Vendetta. Did you write any other names before that, or chuck any other names up on the wall?
Yep. I've been through a few tag names. My first one was Magic, and that was given to me from my cousin Thomas. So yeah, Magic, and then I was Raider, an intermediate. I dropped it to Raid, and then I had a bit of a break, but then and then I was Vendetta.
Awesome, man. And one thing that a lot of people really want to know, especially from Ekos, is what's actually the first piece of graffiti that you saw?
I used to live in Hamilton growing up, and a lot of kids will remember there was an iconic piece. It used to be in this underpass down Forest Lake Road, and I just remember going to my nana's house, and I remember there was this massive b-boy character, and there was just a piece next to it on the right, and I just remember telling my parents, can you slow down? It was pretty amazing. Maybe it might have been about 86-ish. I found out later on, many years later, who did it, but he was a guy named Texas, and he was like a bit of a H-Town king at that time.
Just to clarify, so you actually grew up in Hamilton. I thought you originated from Tauranga.
Nah, so I moved to Tauranga when I was 19. So yeah, that's about it. I went over there for work. But originally, I'm from Hamilton.
Well, I'm aware that you've been in Tauranga for quite some time. What made you move back to Hamilton?
Well, I used to be a bit of a mischief fella, I guess. So I guess me and my family just wanted a fresh start, and my wife chose to move to Hamilton, so that was us. We moved back to Hamilton.
In terms of Hamilton and Tauranga, what was the kind of scene like when you were kind of starting off doing graffiti?
Well, when I first started graffiti, I was only a kid, so back then there was a lot of I seen a lot of tagging. I seen the odd stuff, I used to see the odd bit of graffiti out around, but yeah, one thing I really remember that I used to really love was, they used to call them shadow men, and people used to do silhouettes of people, and they'd do their roll calls in the shadows, and I thought that was pretty cool. There was one wall that used to get done over quite a bit, and it was this Carlton fish and chip shop wall. That was probably something I really remember as a kid. I used to look at all the pieces on that, and that was pretty mean. But I mostly noticed tags. I was a tagger, so that was my passion at that time.
So when I kind of first started graffiti, there was a real culture to what graffiti was. You had to go rack your paint. If somebody went over you, there was beef. You represented your crew and all these sorts of things. And graffiti had these very unspoken rules, I guess, and attitudes to how things are supposed to be. Could you tell me a little bit about Hamilton and Tauranga in terms of when you grew up, first started painting? Were those kind of rules present as well in your area?
When I first started piecing in Tauranga, It was quite dead at that time, so to be honest, there wasn't too many people doing it at that time. When I first moved there though, I met a group of people. This fella Pep, he used to show me his pictures and bring his black book around, and we used to sketch. He was in a crew called Aerosol Assassins. And and that was pretty cool, but I was more of I used to just like watch them back then and admire really. And but when I started piecing, there was people still racked, I guess. And it was a lot harder though, because everything was locked up. And there was like different crews. When I sort of started, I wasn't in a crew. I used to just paint with a couple of guys, and we used to beef on other crews. We used to get capped and they used to cap us, and it was pretty bad, to be honest.
Who would you say is actually the first person that really introduced you to graffiti? That's really what I'd like to know.
To be honest, man, I was pretty lucky. So when I was young, a young fella, my sister used to tag, and we'd go and stay at my uncle's, and it was my sister and my cousins from Huntly. And my sister was riding Creeper, and my cousin Thomas, he was the first guy to give me my tag, and I think I was about standard 3, so maybe about 10 or 11. And he gave me my alphabet, and so I used to roam the streets with these guys, and they used to tag, and I used to tag along and do my little tag next to them. And but Thomas, like, he's probably the main guy I looked up to. He sort of took me under his wing. And I think about 3 or 4 years after that he stopped, and I guess I never stopped loving graph, really.
Awesome, man. And in terms of the crews that you're a part of, I know you kind of just briefly mentioned that you were kind of riding solo for quite a little bit of time, but I know that you are a part of some crews now. So what crews are you involved with now?
I write for a crew called FGA, and also, I don't put it up much, but I write for a crew called OPC. I used to write for a crew called OA, but we sort of retired that crew, I think. We just sort of, we all sort of split. So FGA is Forever Graph Addicts, and OPC is an Australian crew, and it's called Out Past Curfew.
That's nice. And one thing that I've been asking a couple of other people about is how important is it for younger riders to actually be a part of other crews, kind of when they're starting off, in terms of development of themselves and as a rider. Is being a part of a crew an important thing in graffiti?
Well, I mean, like I said, I never used to be in a crew, and I used to go hard. So but joining crews was pretty good. When we joined a crew, it was more we sort of had a bit of a war going on at that time, and so when I joined this crew called OA, Obvious Addicts, it was more about ganging up on the other crews in town, because we were getting pretty capped up. So but for young fellas, I think it's good. It's a good thing to be in a crew. I've got people in my crew that keep me in check. If I'm slacking, they give me crap, and I'm the same. And I guess it pushes us. I see my bro D-Flow, and him and Teaser are going pretty hard at the moment, and it makes me want to get my butt out there and do my bit. So I definitely think a crew is good for young fellas.
I know that you said that you haven't been involved in too many beefs, but is there any story that you could tell our viewers and listeners about a particular beef story that you've had kind of over your career and how that was kind of handled?
Okay, I'll probably just tell you about how the beef started first, so you can sort of have an insight. But so I painted a fresh billboard with my mate Crept, and it was full colour pieces. And that same night I got painted over, and got pretty bad. So we started capping everyone's stuff, and we had a bit of a war. And I finally met up with one of the guys, and I kind of punched him over, which is a bit bad, but didn't necessarily resolve it through violence. It actually made it worse, so I don't necessarily think that that's a good thing. But I guess over time they all sort of fell off. I just kept going, and eventually they stopped capping me pretty much. To be honest, it didn't really fix my problem. So I ended up being mates with the guy later on, but I'm not too sure how to resolve beef, Bob. I guess you just, if there's beef there, you just maybe talk to them about it. Not too sure, man, but that's not really how I resolved it. But yeah, like I said, I'm not saying the way I did it was right.
Having painted for so long, actually, I mean, how long have you painted for now? Been writing?
Well, I've had a few breaks, but I've only really been piecing for about at the end of 05, so I'd probably say probably count that. So really, like I said, I've only been painting since 05. I don't know if I'd count the tagging as painting, because I only done it for like 4 years and stopped and then started. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Had a few breaks.
So for a lot of younger watchers or listeners and viewers, one thing that they want to know is, what is your most dangerous mission that you've been on?
Okay, yeah, no, I got a goodie. Yeah, I think it was about 06, and for some reason my friend decided we were going to climb on top of... we decided we were going to climb on this massive roof. Don't ask me how we got up, but my mate figured out how to get up, and it was one of the biggest rooftops and the highest one to be painted. But we got up there eventually. We used to mission around with ladders, to be honest, quite regularly. But once we got up there, my friend Levi, we were walking along the box cutter, and there was like a little bit of a drop, and he almost fell off the roof. I mean, my mate ANC grabbed him, and he was alright, but we painted both signs, so both billboards, and it was that dangerous that a few months later, when they finally got around to it, they needed a man cage to replace the signs. So yeah, that's probably the most dodgiest thing I've done.
Moving on to the next set of questions, which is kind of more about your influences and inspiration. Who would you say are your top 3 graffiti influences ever?
To be honest, number one would be Fats. And yeah, he's definitely always been one of my number ones. I just don't know, man, that guy, I just love his style, his colour schemes, and yeah, I've just really loved Fats, man. Okay, Chem 5 was, I always liked Chem 5. Really just, I don't know, it just reminded me of that New York steez. I really liked the colour schemes, really liked the funky letters. Wasn't too overdone, but yeah, I just really liked Chem 5. Also, yeah, I used to like Bates a lot. I haven't really followed Bates that much lately, but yeah, Bates, just wild style letters, nice letters. I used to like his productions that he used to do. But yeah, Bates, man, I just really liked, I guess, his all-round letter forms. He just always done like these the letters, like if I did those letters, I probably wouldn't have been able to pull off some of the nice pieces that he pulled off. I don't know, I just really liked him.
So you've mentioned kind of some nationals and internationals in terms of your influences, but what I'd love to hear straight from you is who you think are the top 5 writers in New Zealand and why.
Top 5 for me, like, well, is it wrong to say you were one of them, Bob? I just reckon like there was a stage there where like there wasn't one writer that wasn't influenced by you, and yeah, I don't know, I just really think you stepped New Zealand graffiti scene up, and yeah, there was a stage where like, wow, New Zealand just had some real killer pieces, and I think everyone stepped their game up. Seeper, I don't know, I've always liked Seeper. I've really liked Seep style. He's always been real solid. I really like that New York sort of hip hop sort of feel, and yeah, like all those TS boys, I really like that style. Askew's, well, he's definitely up there. He's a man of many styles. I don't think there's anything that he can't do, but he's another pioneer which I really look up to, and yeah, it's just like I said, he's just so versatile, and yeah, he's definitely influential. Probably Decipher. That guy, he might not be living in New Zealand at the moment or whatever, but yeah, like that guy's, man, his pieces have always just, I've loved them, eh? I don't know, he was just on his own buzz, I think. He's just doing things that I didn't really see too many people in New Zealand doing, and yeah, he's just doing such awesome pieces, and I love his letters and stuff, and yeah, just he's been a big influence on me. And yeah, Fats, I can't forget Fats. But yeah, Fats is the man. I don't know, I just really love his style, man. Solid, nice letters. I've always just, that guy's never had, I don't think I've seen him do stink letters in a piece before, to be honest. And yeah, just real nice colour schemes, and his stuff's always so clean.
For me, it's really if I can bring, through the web series, all these writers to the world, that's like a great thing, to get New Zealand more exposure and showcase what we have here, rather than having to always be us looking outwards. We should be thinking about how to get other people looking in at us, and I think that's really important. So in terms of while we're on the topic of influences and the people that kind of inspire you or you think that are really dope, who or the people have been your greatest writing partners, in terms of your and it might be going out or the evolution of your style, or who have you really vibed with, who are some people that you really vibed with that helps push you or develop your style and so forth.
Well, yeah, probably number one, like the guy that I've definitely pushed myself to keep up with was probably Teaser, for sure. Like me and that guy, we used to feed off each other, and man, we've been up to some crazy missions. Me and that dude used to just paint every day, pretty much. And yeah, every time I painted with him, we would be challenging ourselves, and I'd definitely be looking at his piece going, hey, yeah, I'm going to try and keep up with him. And yeah, he's probably one of the main influences in my graffiti. And but I have to give a shout out to my boy Crip, because man, me and that dude, yeah, he definitely helped me to get to where I am today as well.
I know that a lot of people within New Zealand, they see you as somewhat as a mentor in many ways. Are there anybody that you've mentored along the way in your graffiti career?
Yeah, there's been a lot of people that I've definitely spent a lot of time off, but there's been definitely 3 guys that stand out, and that's number 1, that's my boy Grits. Man, that dude, he's a lot younger than me, but yeah, like, man, it was definitely worth the time I invested in him. He's, to be honest, he skills me up these days. And yeah, my bro Sept, he's another guy that when he was like 13 came over. I mean, these kids I was giving a lot of paint to at the time. I was like giving them opportunities and balls and stuff, and I see that guy still painting in it, and it makes me feel good. And also my boy Flues, and he used to write something different back then, but yeah, and that guy as well, man, he's another guy that I created a few opportunities for it, and that guy's just killing it. And he's yeah, no, I'm just, to be honest, man, like it's good for me. I get a buzz out of it.
Obviously taking on a mentor role and helping, you know, younger writers come up and show them the ropes and so forth, but also, you know, you personally seeing different styles and things from other writers and how to do stuff. How do you actually take influence without biting?
Oh, that's a hard one, because I was probably biting when I first started. But I mean, to be honest, man, if you're just starting out, I don't know if there's anything wrong with getting influence off people. You'd probably save yourself a lot of years. But that's just that's not saying I'm encouraging biting. But I mean, maybe if you're like looking at pictures, maybe look at like 5 or 6 pictures at one go, and you know, maybe take a tiny bit of hit from here and there and change it. I don't necessarily think it's biting, but yeah, I don't know what I feel about biting, to be honest, because yeah, maybe I might subconsciously do the odd bit of biting myself. So yeah.
Who are some international writers at the moment that currently have your attention?
Okay, to be honest, there's not any new writers that have my attention. Just, you know, there's a lot of writers that I've been looking at for a long time, and I'm still looking at them, and I haven't really had any new influence lately, to be honest. I'm definitely on Instagram all the time, but I mean, the level of pieces out there, there's millions of writers out there now.
So if there's so much stuff on Instagram and the internet, and you know, I'm sure there's lots of dope graffiti out there, how come none of it is inspiring you or catching your attention?
Oh, it definitely catches my attention, but there's so much of it, so I'm just like lost in it all. It's like I forget names, and like there's just so much on the internet, and on Instagram, and I could sit there all night just finding new writers. And I mean, I could go through my likes on Instagram, and
Oh, that's cool. And you know, we kind of briefly talked about this question before, but how did the environment that you grew up in influence your graffiti?
Because I started like so young, I guess. It's hard to say for me, but yeah, like I said, like before, the walls that I seen that I really remember, I mean, I guess it didn't influence me that much because I never tried piecing till later on. But like, as I said, like the streets that I used to see, that used to influence me a lot. I used to just be mostly into the streets back then, to be honest.
And who was some streets taggers that were kind of around in your area?
Back in the 90s, there was a guy, and I'm pretty sure he's from Norton maybe, but Picasso, that was a name that I really remember from the 90s. Yeah, probably just my passion for it motivates me.
Where are you hoping to take your graffiti over the next 5 years? Are you just planning to do the same thing, or are you wanting to do bigger murals, or what's the plan?
To be honest, I don't really have a plan. I'm just enjoying what I'm doing, to be honest. I sort of started so late, so I sort of missed the bus on a lot of things. So I don't know, I just guess I'll invest a lot of time into doing, like, probably helping you out, man, and trying to do my part for the scene. That's probably my main goal until I eventually one day retire, which it could be whenever, you know.
One thing that one of our viewers or listeners or watchers might not know is that you're also a tattoo artist, a tattooist. Do you think that your focus is more on the graffiti or more on the tattoos at the moment?
When I was in Flax Roots, it was definitely, I was in the shop 7 in the morning till 10 at night, and that was like 6 days, or like almost 6 days a week. So all my spare time was taken up with my family pretty much. I'm pretty lucky because I've got a little private studio, so I make time for my graffiti art and my tattoos, but I keep them pretty separate, eh?
All the things that you learn in the tattoo world, are you saying that none of that influences any of your graffiti?
To be honest, I try to merge both of them, but yeah, I guess like it just didn't work out that way. I ended up just going in one direction with my tattoos and one direction with my graph, and I mean, my graph might be evolving and I might be, influenced by my tattoos without knowing. I'm not too sure. Probably have to ask other people, to be honest.
moving on to the next set of questions, which is a bit more about your style and process in terms of how you actually create your pieces. So I've personally observed how your style's evolved, but what I'd like to know is how you would describe your style.
I'm in a weird place with my graph at the moment. I'm just experimenting quite a bit, I think. So yeah, I'm just at the point where I'm just having lots of fun with it. I guess I spent so long just doing the same old thing, so yeah. Yeah, I'd try and mix it up a bit, like if I write two different things and one of the words I try and do just funky, simple pieces, and the other one I try and push and elevate myself, I guess. But yeah, probably a bit of funk, a little bit, you can see a little bit of New York influence in there, probably a little bit of biting from Bobby. And getting influence of New Zealand writers. I know that like
how would you actually describe the evolution of your style from when you first started to now? How would you kind of explain those kind of stages or phases that you've kind of gone through over the past 10 years?
I used to do a lot of negative fills, which I kind of still do. I don't know if I've changed too much. I guess I've just gotten better at what I was doing. Just practice, man, and my letters just got a bit better, and my fills got a bit better, and I slowly evolved.
What do you think helped you kind of evolve your letters?
Well, I think like I definitely try and write different style letters every time. Like you might see little influences from my other pieces, but yeah, I reckon definitely try different styles. Try and mix it up. Otherwise you probably won't advance, to be honest. But yeah, like I always try and change my letters. You can still see it's my style, but yeah, I definitely try and change them.
No, that's cool. And in terms of your painting process, what's the process for selecting colours? Because I know that in this particular real-time piece, you've kind of done like a style smasher where, you got multiple coloured outlines, you got different coloured fills, and it's not just, a one colour outline, and that's really nice to see. What's your kind of approach to that?
Well, today I didn't really get to choose my colours, so yeah, I guess I just had to make it work. Dark, light on dark, add a bit here, add a bit there. I didn't really get a chance to think today, but yeah, usually I'd probably get contrasting colours together, and I'd probably make sure all the colours look good together. Yeah, I'd try different colourways pretty much. You don't want to be stuck doing the same colourways, but yeah, just try and get contrasting colours, I guess. That's probably what I do.
So was it challenging that I didn't let you know what colours you had, and you kind of had to just work on the fly? Like what was the kind of challenges from working like that?
Okay, I was definitely out of my comfort zone today for sure, and I was a bit nervous, but like Bob put me on the spot, and to be honest, yeah, I just didn't think, and I just done. And I'm happy, man. Like if I had another like 2 or 3 hours on it, I could have done a lot more, but I had limited time, and I think like it was important, an important lesson today. I didn't think, I just did. I'm pretty happy with it anyway.
What is the most played out thing people do in pieces?
I probably use it quite regularly, to be honest. I mean, the most played out thing, is some of the most important things to me. I love arrows. There's probably an arrow in every piece. I still love arrows, and arrows is one of the things that's the most played out, I guess. Well, it's one of those things, Bob, I guess, when you see it and you just want to copy. I don't know why. Shapes. Oh yeah, pieces are just shapes, I guess, but arrows create flow, I guess, like direction.
moving on to the last set of questions, which is really a bit more about your own opinion on some topics and some advice for some of our younger writers. So what we'd like to know is, what is the highlight of your graffiti career? Is there a particular highlight or thing that pops into your mind?
Yeah, I guess it was cool to be part of, like me, Bob and Strikt. We organised an event together, and it was good. It was good. A good turnout just recently. It was called Burning Bridges, and yeah, that was probably a highlight that we all pulled it off, and seeing all these kids having an opportunity to have a paint, it was good.
Could you tell us a little more about the Burning Bridges event? Like, what is it, and why did you organise it?
The truth is, like, I guess what motivated me to do it is, like, straight up, bro, I've seen you do a lot for the scene, and I was just doing my part for the scene, to be honest. I came up with an idea and people seemed keen, and it ended up being bigger than what I wanted, and you know. But the motivation behind it was to create an opportunity for all these young fellas to come and have a paint, really, and meet some riders.
And do you think that post-event now, you know, it's happened like 2 months ago or something, do you think that it was a successful thing, and are we going to see another event, another Burning Bridges?
Yeah, well, definitely it's on the cards. It's pretty much we've got the spot confirmed for next year, and just waiting for the permit. Yeah, it's definitely happening. We'll tighten up a few things, and we'll probably do it annually, to be honest. It was a good event, and we'll just make it better every time, I think.
Absolutely, and I'd just like to give a little shout out to Ironlak, you know, for hooking up all the paint for that event. We really appreciate that. And one question that we do have as well is, everybody that's turned up to the first Burning Bridges, they want to know if you're willing to reveal what the next location is for the next Burning Bridges.
I really want to, but until that permit's in my hand, like, I could, you know, until I'm sitting there with that permit in my hand, I don't know if I want to reveal it. All I can say is it's a real nice spot, one location, and it's going to fit a lot of us on. It's been approved. It's in Tauranga. Oh, it's actually in the Mount. And we might have some funding this time, hopefully. The council might back us on this one. So, yeah, I don't know if I want to tell everyone where it is at the moment, though, to be honest.
This is a real biggie, this next question, and I think it really hits home for me because I'm so focused on rebuilding the New Zealand graffiti scene and as much as contributing to it. What I'd like to know is what you think of the current New Zealand graffiti scene.
Is there a scene? I'm not too sure. I look around the towns. There's people doing some good things at the moment, but yeah, man, if you look back at like even just 2009, 10, 11, like if you look at like the quality of the pieces, man, I think like as the older riders are getting older and slowing down, I mean, I just see no young riders out there, and to be honest, I don't see much around my neighbourhood anyway. Apart from like Christchurch just doing a few big things. There's a few people out there doing big things as individuals, but yeah, I'm not too happy with the New Zealand scene at the moment.
So for a lot of the younger riders that are operating kind of more on a low-key kind of basis, what would you say to them? Because, you know, I know that they're out there putting in work, but, you know, they're not posting things on the internet or whatever and things like that, rightfully so. But how could those guys that are really active right now but not sharing their work, how could they inspire the next generation rather than, you know, leave it up to all the older guys to do that type of work to inspire the next generation?
Well, there is some young fellas out there that are doing a lot of work, and yes, I think it's quite good that they're not posting, to be honest, but yeah, all the guys I know are out there and encouraging young fellas, and they're putting time. I know a few people, man, and you know, they're doing pretty well. They've got like fellas that they're schooling up, but that's only the guys I know. There's probably a lot of guys out there, but I feel like maybe we could all try and help the young fellas, especially if you're young, man. Teach whoever, you know, like, but teach them the right way, and invest your time wisely, I guess.
What are some of the key changes that you've noticed in the New Zealand scene over the past 5-10 years?
It had a peak and then it just disappeared, to be honest. Like, it was like, wow, man, New Zealand was just doing things and keeping up with the world, you know, like peace-wise, man. And yeah, I don't know what's happened to be honest. It's just dead. But I think it's just, I'm not seeing too much around. Like, there's a lot of writers that were painting. I think a lot of people, it was just a phase maybe, a lot of young fellas, but a lot of people have stopped writing as well.
Why do you think it was at its peak and then it had a drop-off?
Well, they were all older writers, I guess. Like, from what I was seeing, all the people that were doing like some of the top work in New Zealand, they got to the age where maybe they had too many children, or they all just seemed to have slowed down. Well, that's what I'm seeing anyway. I don't know if I'm right, but yeah, that's what I'm seeing anyway.
What are some of the key things that you like and dislike about the scene?
I've had it pretty lucky. I like the fact that a lot of the TMD writers, a lot of the writers that I've met have been sweet, like been encouraging and stuff. You know, like I was quite old when I started, like piecing, but they were all pretty sweet about it to me anyway. What I dislike, there is a lot of people out there that are wankers and are stuck up, and yeah, I don't know what the problem is, but I just think we don't need that shit in the scene, to be honest. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear on here, but yeah, we don't need that crap in the scene, I don't think it's good anyway.
If you've been in the game for a long time, there's probably some young dude out there that looks up to you, right? Probably somewhere out there. And I'm sure when they meet you, they hope that you're an awesome person, you know. But if you're kind of like standoffish or you're a bit of an asshole, you know, one day when they're famous, the only good thing that they're not going to have anything good to say about you. They're just going to have a bad memory of how much of an asshole you were, you know. So what would you recommend for other, maybe even old school writers now, and what attitudes should they be bringing to younger writers now? Do you think that type of attitude should continue in the older writers now, or do you think that, you know, you should show the younger writers a bit of love?
To be honest, if some of the older writers did, you know, if they'd have invested time, and maybe I'm not saying, you know, they've been arseholes, or I don't, but yeah, you know, like maybe there would be more of a scene if they had a different attitude back in the days. Probably maybe there would have been more younger writers, because I know, like, I think there's been a big gap, man. There's like older writers and there's a gap in the middle, and then there's younger writers. Well, that's what it seems like. These younger writers, yeah, like, I think, like, it's almost like the New Zealand graffiti scene starting again. When I'm looking at it, it's like we've definitely gone backwards, style-wise. I don't know if that's right, but that's just my opinion.
Who are some young writers at the moment, or crews in New Zealand, that currently have your attention?
There's this one crew, you know, that stands out, and it's just because I know their background and where they come from, and I'll tell you right now, they are out there doing a lot of work, and that's TDT crew. These guys are hard working writers. They're out there. They're definitely hard on the other younger writers, because they are doing a lot of work. And I've seen a lot of their footage and their vlogs, and if you're in the spots and you see them out there, I mean, if you know, you know. Otherwise, they're not posting pictures, and yeah, you won't know. But most writers know how much work they're doing anyway. And I definitely think, like, I'll give a shout out to MTS crew, because those guys, like, yeah, man, I think those guys are doing a lot of good things for New Zealand. They seem selfless. They seem to do, like, they're quite encouraging. Their website where they post other people's pictures and stuff, I think it's pretty good, man. That Space Runner magazine, awesome, you know, it's awesome. And they're out there doing work and putting back into the scene, and I think we need more people like that, to be honest.
Would you actually consider painting with any of the younger writers, or just painting with established ones?
Those who, like, know me know that it doesn't matter how old or young you are. I'm out there painting with whoever if you're keen and if you're a good dude. It's never been about that, because like, man, everybody knows that it took me so long to get pretty average as a writer. And yeah, no, I just think like doesn't matter, as long as you're a cool fella, man. I'm keen to paint, and I paint with young fellas, old fellas. I'm not embarrassed of it, you know. Like I don't really care as long as I'm having fun anyway.
How do you think this web series, well, I know in my own mind, you know, why I'm doing this, but how do you think this particular web series could help younger writers?
Well, it's definitely going to help them, man. It's even helped me. It's good just to hear like everyone's story and how they came up and a bit of history. I know that it's definitely going to help the young writers out there see like everyone's styles and how they put their pieces together. And yeah, I think hearing the older fellas encourage the young fellas, I think that might help them as well.
I know that one kind of criticism that we've had is, well, times have really changed. Back in the day, you could learn graffiti on the internet. I've had that kind of comment before. I mean, most of the comments have been really positive, but do you think that the internet over the past 5-10 years has been a positive or negative for the growth of graffiti?
Probably both, maybe. I just know that there's a big overflow of graph. Like I said, I don't really get. There's so much stuff on the net, and I don't actually see it influencing these young fellas. I don't see it in their pieces. I don't think that it's. I think that it's helped the police catch a lot of people. Put it that way.
You obviously have a family, and I'm aware that you have some kids and you got a wife, and you got your own kind of hustle happening. So how do you actually find the balance between doing graffiti and managing your family life?
Well, people that know me know I put my family comes first. But yeah, like, man, the kids will come and watch me paint a legal wall, and that's cool. They love it. They're riding their scooters, and so I usually just take them down, bring a lot of money to buy them lollies and whatever, food. Make sure my bills are paid, and I try and create opportunities really to pay for my habit, so yes, it doesn't affect my family.
Are you a full-time graffiti writer?
I'm a full-time something. I'm like, I don't actually have an official job. I tattoo, and when I'm not tattooing, I'm usually writing graffiti. So if you want to call that a full-time graffiti writer, maybe.
How would you actually define a real writer?
I'm probably not the person to answer that, because, yeah, a real graffiti writer. To be honest, I know some true graffiti writers out there. I'm probably not one of them, but like there's a team of graffiti writers that eat, breathe, they live it daily. They never post, they're just doing it for writing. I think like graffiti writers these days worry a lot about posting, and these guys just do it because they love it. They don't care about anybody else or anything else, and I think that's probably a real graffiti writer. They don't necessarily rack their cans, but they're out there doing a lot of work, and I don't really have any clue what a real graffiti writer is, to be honest.
Would it be considered as being a fake writer if you were painting legal walls and making money from graffiti? Is that considered being a fake writer?
I definitely feel there's a balance, because like you can be a guy, like I know a few guys that used to write for a little bit that are out there covering tracksides with art and getting paid for it, and they never, they're never out there writing. And then you've got someone like me who goes and does graffiti jobs to fund my habit. So I think there's like I'm on the other side of it. So like I think there's nothing wrong with making money off graffiti art if it's funding what you love, like keeping the leftover paint. I mean, as a family man, that's how I survive and paint graffiti. Otherwise my wife would probably kill me if I spent too much money on paint, to be honest. But yeah, I think if you're out there and you're just making money off graffiti art and you don't even love graffiti and you're not really a writer, I think that's probably been a fake graffiti writer.
Where do you kind of see graffiti going, at least within New Zealand or internationally, in the next 5 years?
Hopefully back up on the rise, to be honest. I see, since these videos have been coming out, I see a lot more people writing. I mean, you know, I have seen a lot more people in the last 8 months doing a lot more than what they were, and I'm even out there doing a lot more than what I was. So hopefully it's back on the rise again. I know that there's been a bit of a lull. Don't know, I just hope that it gets back to where it was.
One thing that I'd like to know as well is, I know that you're based in Hamilton now and previously lived in Tauranga. Have you actually travelled much outside of New Zealand?
No, I've like done a graph trip to Aussie that I painted pretty much for 3 months every day with my bro Strikt, and that's how I joined OPC crew. But apart from that, it was like, you know, I've got 3 children now, so I haven't really done much travelling since then.
Have you got any big travelling plans coming up?
Yeah, gee, nah, yeah, I'm gonna take my kids with me. Nah, like, to be honest, man, I'm pretty settled where I am, and yeah, I'd probably be keen to go to Christchurch if anything, but yeah, I'm pretty stuck, man.
I mean, we're almost wrapping it up now, but in terms of advice, what would be 3 pieces of advice that you would leave with some younger writers that were watching this episode?
Get schooled up, man. Do things properly. Find some people that are doing it properly. Don't get caught. Do things the right way, and yeah, like, learn from older people's mistakes, man. Because yeah, like I said, I got a lot of charges against my name, and that's not a good thing. That's a silly thing. And yeah, learn from people, man. That's probably 1. 2, don't wait. If you can't rack paint, whatever, well, go and create opportunities to make yourself some money to buy paint. You know, go out there. If you got no paint, go get some markers, go get some rollers. Do anything, man. Yeah, and number 3, don't jump into the graph scene if it's just a phase, and go hard, you know, like, stick at it. Don't waste people's time teaching you if you're just going to fall off after a year. That's probably what I'd have to say as well.
But we had a bunch of questions which were talking about red paint. What was that about?
This is a bit of a serious question, this one. But yeah, okay, all I could say is there was about 4 years where there was this red paint popping up, and for a good 4 years Tauranga was pretty bad. So there was a big investigation about this red paint, and it was that bad that years after you'd seen that red paint, when I got raided, they were trying to pin me for like $500,000 worth of damage. So yeah, they didn't, obviously. But yeah, so this red paint was a big deal pretty much. So yeah, but I know nothing about it. Got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, we've got another story which is kind of interesting too. Is it true that you once tried to sell washing powder to support your graffiti habit?
Of course. Yeah, thanks Teaser for that question. At that time, I was me and Teaser didn't have jobs, and we just painted every day. We were waking up, making money, and painting. And yes, I did go to his house, and he was getting 20 kg bags of washing powder for like $5 or something. And I was like, bro, that's us. We're gonna sell this. We're gonna buy some paint. But yeah, like, we never did it. It was pretty funny. But like I said, man, we were doing anything and everything at that point to get paint.
Cool. So just to wrap up this interview, I'd like to do a little rapid fire question section. Okay. Yeah. So the rapid fire questions are pretty much just a one-word answer. Okay. Chrome or color?
Colour.
Legals or illegals?
Illegals.
Trains or walls?
Trains.
Favorite brand of paint?
Ironlak.
Best beer?
Any beer that's free.
Favorite food?
Roast.
Favorite genre of music?
Hardcore punk.
Favorite city in New Zealand?
I'd have to say H-Town.
Just to leave you with a final note, do you have any shout outs that you'd like to make to anybody?
Yeah, if that's what you're doing. Yeah, man, shout out to the TDT boys, FGA, D-Flow, keep going hard. And yeah, just OPC, Morph and Crep. Cheers for letting me shout out to them, bro.
Thank you very much, Sakt, for your time and joining us for episode 9. You've given us a really incredible resource, not just for myself and my own kind of learning, but I'm definitely sure that it will be really helpful for all the writers in New Zealand. And we're really grateful that you've shared your perspective to the world as well, because that's who's going to be watching. I really hope to all our viewers that the video was insightful, inspiring and educative for everybody that just watched it and listened. Thanks to all our contributors and with the questions and sites and IG accounts and everything, and blogs for your shares. Shout outs to Rooks for your support as well for this particular episode. If you'd like to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel and watch some of the earlier episodes. We've got some amazing perspectives from other New Zealand writers as well, and we're going to be having more international writers trickling along in these series as well, so stay tuned. Drop us a like, share and comment below. Let us know how we can make the video series better for you and your watching. We definitely appreciate your feedback and we want your recommendations on how we can improve the series. That's really important to us. Leave us a little comment below on who you'd like to see next in future episodes, and stay tuned for your monthly viewing of the real-time web series. Thanks. Where are we?
Ngaruawahia.
Yeah. What's ruthless?
Shoes without socks.
Yeah.
Fresh on the spot. Literally flat here. You know, fresh on the spot.
If you guys could predict the future, what would happen?
I'll be famous. I'll be the best doctor in the world. I'll be richer than Bill Gates.
Oh!
That was on camera. David, you're not famous now.
Oh!
Try to learn that on